This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Let's open the meeting for the February 4th meeting of the Easthampton Licensing Board.
Second that motion.
Anybody here from the public to speak about anything that is not on tonight's agenda?
I don't see anybody.
Okay.
Okay. I move that we end public speak time. Second. Go ahead, Tony.
Approval of minutes from December and January.
I move that we approve the minutes.
Second.
Minutes are approved.
Okay. Open the public hearing for THCC application for new license located at 1 Northampton Street.
Yep. Do you want to, hey, I know there's some people here who want to talk and it might get a little lengthy. Burns, you're here just for a 1 day, right?
Yeah. Stephen, can I pause for a second?
Sure.
I didn't hear you guys froze during the minutes. Did you guys?
Approve the minutes, yes.
Yeah, if you can, yeah, we approve the minutes.
Who made the motion?
What's that?
Who made the motion?
I think I did.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Pretty sure I did. Do you mind if we just, so Burns is here for her 1 day. You have all that stuff in there, Lindsay?
I do.
Okay, and is that application outside your door? Or is that license, that 1 day out on your door? You can type this stuff.
Print a license until it's voted on and approved.
Okay, copy that. All right, so I move that we vote to approve the special 1 day for City Space for the February, March, April, May, June events.
Yeah, second.
All right, motion is carried. Congratulations. You're welcome. Do you have anything else? You got anything else, Bruce?
That's it.
You're good?
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so back to the public hearing for THCC for new license 1 Northampton Street.
All right. So, Lindsay, I went through the entire application, and other than that check that needs to go to Easthampton, well, there's two things. It's the check that has to go to the newspaper, which they're going to get to you tomorrow. And I know that I have the application or the $200 payment to the ABC website. Has that but I don't have any, I just have the application. I don't have do you know if that's been paid?
I don't know, but they do need to include the monetary receipt in that is required as part of a completed application. So the monetary transmittal form is what you should be looking for.
So, yeah, I have application. Oh no, I just have the application for new license that says please make a $200 payment.
Okay, yeah, so we need the monetary transmittal form. The ABCC requires that. So we need that in that application to make it a complete application.
So I don't see that document in here. I may have missed it, but I went through it pretty thoroughly today. And that's the one question I had. I just saw the mention of the $200 payment, but no confirmation.
You never seen that?
We're contacting our financial, and if it's not, we can include that in the,
Well, that's not a payment that goes to the.
It goes
the
directly to
city.
them.
Yeah, to the state.
so we would just need to give you like basically the receipt of that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Lindsay, is that something we can get from THCC with their check, the other check tomorrow, that receipt of payment for the 200?
So the monetary transmittal form is a part of their online application with the ABCC that they should have printed at the same time. So we need that printout included in their application. You could choose to vote conditionally upon receiving that, but I can't submit the.
Yep. I think that's probably what we're gonna do. And that'll give them some time to get that into us tomorrow, right?
Sure thing.
Okay, great. And you're gonna need so it's the monetary transmittal form
Okay,
that it's gonna be part of your, should be in your online portal at the ABCC, just a little receipt that shows that you paid it, and that's the
Okay.
only thing that we're missing here.
okay, great.
So all the documents that I can see are in order. But until we get that, we can't vote officially. We're gonna vote probably conditionally, which means,
Okay.
Given that you give the check in
Mm-hmm,
and you get that other document in, because everything else is set,
okay,
then on Thursday, Lindsay's gonna send us an electronic, a little thing in the mail so we can electronically sign. We normally would do it here.
right, but because we're missing those, okay, got
Yeah,
it.
so, all right, now, would this be the time where we invite
Yeah.
folks to weigh in on this license, Lindsay? She might not be with us. I think it probably is. Sorry for asking, I'm still fairly new to the board, so all the Roberts Rules of Order are slowly filtering down. Ernst, you all set? Do you need anything?
I'm a neighbor, so I thought.
Oh, you're just hanging out?
Stick
Oh,
around.
cool, yeah, right on. No, we'd love to have you.
I love a city meeting.
I just didn't know if you had a question. Sorry. All right,
That's through the chair, instead of having us go first just as abutters, in other meetings I've been part of, it's always nice sometimes to listen to their proposals so we maybe learn and know what their plans are, so we can be fully informed before we comment.
oh, yeah, sure. Now, I'm just curious, you were notified as an abutter,
Yes.
and what were you notified of? What did you get?
Well, we were notified through, the stamped
Mhm.
town application and also the literature from the Heavy of, an application for a new liquor license at that location.
And that's it?
And
They're just saying like, they're near you, you're near them, they're gonna try to do
well,
this?
I mean, I don't know if you know, or I'm sure Tony, because he's part of the, what is it, Tony, the special board there, what's it called?
ZBA.
The zoning board of appeals. So they had to meet the first requirement of getting a special permit from the zoning board of appeals. So we went through, and the neighborhood went through some pretty rigorous discussion with them. Obviously, there's a lot of concern, but I think I'm jumping the gun on that. I'd like to.
No worries, I was just
listen.
curious,
Yeah.
because
No,
I'm kinda
it's-
curious to see
yeah.
what people
And
get
I'm sure
in that
Tony can
regard.
bring you up to speed on that, or if he wants to speak on it
We
now.
can as well.
Yeah, well, please welcome, just state your names for everybody.
My name's Nicole Galinsky, I'm on the board of the Heavy Culture Cooperative.
And I'm Tim Burrow. I'm the president and a member of the board of the Heavy Culture Cooperative.
Okay.
And I live at 176 Main Street.
So, you wanna, talk to your neighbors?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of discussion with them already. I'm not sure that we have much else to add to our current plans other than in anticipation of meeting the requirements that were outlined for receipt of the special permit from the Zoning Board of Appeals. We're now applying for a liquor license as the next step along our journey.
Okay. And Tony, they went before the zone and they did all the requisite steps? Okay. So, I wanna weigh, what do you have some concerns?
Well, I'd rather have them present their whole business, or whatever they're gonna present to you folks, so you can make a decision on whether the permit's gonna be granted from you.
Yeah, that's all.
It's all in the paperwork.
Just
Yeah.
paperwork from the ABCC.
I haven't, is that for public view, Tony, or is that?
Well, this is a public document once we
Right.
vote on it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I would've looked at it earlier just to see, or, I don't wanna pick anything apart, I just, once again, for point of information, I'm also a liquor license commissioner, not of obviously Easthampton, but
Sure.
of Chicopee. I think I've served in that capacity for about, 8 to 10 years or whatever. And very, aware of what goes on when new licenses or old licenses are granted or problems are granted. So, in my experience before, when people are brought in, especially someone applying for a new liquor license, it's nice to know their background, what they intend to do, what their establishment intends to, put forward, how do they, not a full-blown business plan, but, their past experiences and have they been involved in anything else? Everything that the ABC will go through.
Sure.
Also, who might be serving, who's the owners, and I do have some questions there, and, where it goes from there. So,
Well, we do have all of that information in this rather lengthy document here,
Okay.
but I think maybe just to move things forward, you wanna just give them the skinny, just tell them, like, I know you guys have talked a lot, but,
Yeah.
just for their benefit, what they were asking for?
Sure. The Heavy Culture Cooperative is a multi-stakeholder cooperative enterprise.
So guys, if you wanna get to the table and look at each other, that's
Yeah.
totally fine, no, sit over here,
I
sit
don't want
across
to get
me.
too close.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
mean,
lot of food.
I
I have
can-
a sore throat, so
All right,
I
all
don't
right.
want I don't want to breathe my germs on someone, so
Yeah, stay there.
that's why I'm at the end of the
Jeez
room.
Louise,
Yeah,
all right.
um,
I'm sorry to interrupt, go ahead.
No problem. I mean, I feel like I'm looking at you because I'm letting you know potentially new information. I don't think I have
Yeah,
anything
no,
new
that's
to
what Tim-
tell
that's
Mr.
Tom.
Pasternak.
Yeah, it's Tim.
Sure.
So yeah, we're a multi-stakeholder cooperative incorporated here in the state of Massachusetts. We have over 100 shareholders. The bar manager record is going to be Ms. Kalinsky. She has extensive experience working as a bar manager at Four Phantoms Brewing and extensive experience working in bar and hospitality positions prior to that. We are planning to open a music venue and bar pending receipt of all the necessary permits at 1 Northampton Street. I'm not sure what else really to add aside from the information you've got there in the paperwork already.
Which is complete. Anything else you guys would like to know?
Well, I mean, as a, I own the funeral home next door. I also own 2 other pieces of property that's adjacent. Our neighborhood, as Tony knows, has, had extensive worries about, a loud music venue going in there. In addition to that, above and beyond the music, which I think, hopefully we've satisfied that, and we'll see where it goes because their application or their permit is or occupancy is conditional on passing some, sound test, which I thought was very fair. But once again, I'm not here to complain, I'm just here to express concern, so if going forward. So in issuing someone a new license, my first question would be through the chair, obviously, I don't want to speak directly to you.
Well, Tony's the chair technically.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tony, so
I just talk too much.
No, that's okay, you look very official, so.
Yeah, I got all this stuff in
Tony.
front of me. Tony's the boss.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That, I have concerns of a business where, they're a cooperative. Each and every person owns a share of this. So once again, and I'm not questioning the young ladies, is it okay to say it that way? I don't know your name, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can call me Nicole.
So I don't want to offend
I think
Nicole.
we've formally met several times.
I don't always remember everyone's name.
That's all right.
I hate to say that online, but, and I don't question your, work capacity or that. But once again, in a business like this, and I know it's a club/business, because the structure of the club is you have presidents and officers, who does someone actually report to? So it's almost like a club license, I would assume similar to another venue in town like St. Stan's.
So I will say-
it is not a club. This is a business.
Yeah.
This is a straight up business, and I will say,
Okay.
when we have the venue, there will be a bar manager, there will be a general manager, and there will be employees. Those are the people that are going to be in charge of the physical.
Okay, so that being said,
Work there.
it's not
It's not
my-
gonna be every
I don't
single
wanna overstep the
person
bounds
with
of
a
the
word.
chair, But that being said, when you make out your application, there is no owner of this entity. There is a president, a treasurer, so your officers must be listed on the application, is that correct?
They are.
They are, and the officers will be vetted.
I also just, for the record, I want to correct the statement that there is no owner. There are over 100 owners.
Well, no, I said there are owners, there is no individual owner.
Right.
So I'm not here to argue it, and that's not the
No,
point.
I'm not taking
But
it that way.
I don't want to banter back and forth. Let me go through my spiel. Then if they want to answer, it's up to the chair to let them do that. I'm not here for an argument. But so they have an issue where there's officers, and those club officers, anytime officers club change like a club, and you do change officers, it'll have to go back before this board and back to the state.
Correct.
Point of order through the chair, I would assume that's correct.
Yep.
And then so, once again, so it's a very delicate situation, many of the neighbors are concerned that noise will be an issue. Bars, as you well know, create noise. There is no other venue in our neighborhood anymore other than, there was a few down the street in the old days of a bar. There was a bar at this location. I don't know if the board has looked back at some of those problems. I don't know if any of you were on the board back then, but it was problematic there. Not only music inside might be loud and whatever, so hopefully that's going to be addressed. But as you know, as people walk out of the bar, those create most of the problems of bars, other than the real ABC issues, noise issues or the good neighbor policy. This location, even though it was the old Memorial Hall, is in direct abuttance to residential dwellings where people are sleeping at night. So I just wanted to put the Liquor License Commission here on notice that we have concerns. I'm sure, hopefully, they will be addressed. I hope that the folks that are applying for the license will be great and awesome license holders, and be fair and respectful to the community at whole. It is own neighborhood business. It is business owned, but it's neighborhood business, residential, sleeping domicile. So, I wish them the best, and I hope they do. And even not that this is an issue of this board tonight to vote on this, but I made mention of some furniture out on the property and part of the roof that's just floating around. I'm already discouraged a little bit that issues like that haven't been taken care of. It's as important as shoveling your sidewalk when it snows and just keeping your property safe and clean. So I hope that's what it is in the future, and especially if they're granted a license. I know the rigors of the ABC. They're going to be looking at their fire code things, their occupancy, the plans and all that other stuff, how the building is shared up and down from what's been proposed. Have some great concerns with that. And then also some egress doors which exit the back of the building right out to some of the abutting properties. So that's really all I have to say. It's not a big gripe, but I just want to be fair, and I want to be on the record, most importantly on the record, that there are concerns expressed.
A lot of those issues aren't, up to us, up to this board, just like with the ZBA when we put the,
Anything outside, Tony, is an issue. If it's loud noise outside, they're responsible. If there's a fight outside,
No, I'm not saying that, but that's
okay.
not. Everything that's up to us is in that packet of paper there, which goes to the, to the ABCC, so.
Yeah, these are things that could happen, for sure. These are all concerns.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'd have the same ones if I was living next to the place too. No question.
Correct.
Can you tell me a little bit more, maybe you can both, but you mentioned an agreement to do like some sort of sound testing?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so one of the conditions for approval of the special permit from the ZBA is to prove to an acoustics consultant chosen by the city and paid for by the Heavy Culture Cooperative that we're going to be in compliance with the Department of Environmental Protection's air pollution and noise pollution laws.
Right, great. That's good to know.
And just not to cut in, but
No.
we were very happy with that.
That's great. That would be
It
mine.
seems
Yeah.
fair and
We were also very happy with
Yeah.
that decision.
Yeah,
I think it's
I think that going forward, that should be standard practice, because, like, even when you guys started, when you were looking at the other property down there, I was like, whoa, how are you gonna do that? It's
But,
not even
and
closer.
I'm not here to educate them, but this board, this liquor licensing board, if there are issues, if there are outside issues, if there's problems on the property, it's the licensee's responsibility to protect the safety of anyone who is a patron outside, or on their property. So anything that happens outside, this board will be responsible for calling them in and hopefully addressing any concerns of the neighborhood.
Well,
Very,
yeah,
very serious.
yeah, no question. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I uphold those laws just as a bar manager under another person's license.
Yep.
So, yeah, I've been in this business over 12 years. So
Yeah, and I was in
I'm good at
hospitality
de-escalating.
industry for many, many decades myself, so I'm hearing what you're saying, and that's all legit. I'd probably have the same list if I were you. And, thanks for expressing that and letting us know your concerns. I think right now, as Tony was saying, some of those other things are under the purview of other parts of the city government, and they've already signed off on it. So pending this sound test, which I'm very happy to hear we're doing, everything else is in order legally for them to have this license approved tonight, or conditionally approved, we think. But other than that, thanks for letting us know. I mean, like I said, that stuff is very important.
Yeah, this board approves it, it goes to the state, and then the state goes through their rigors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And I think that's, once again,
Yeah, yeah.
most fair, and I think they're gonna do everything
And as
that's
you
right.
know,
and-
as a licensing board member in your town,
Yeah.
the state more and more is letting the towns sort of, decide certain things. Instead of having to do a whole application for any change, they're letting us, extend the footprint and all that sort of stuff. You know about that. And I think, I'm guessing that if we're okay with it, then they're gonna be okay, as long as all the, the i's are dotted and the t's are crossed, that they're gonna be fine with it too.
Okay. Anything else?
No, thank you.
All right.
You're all set?
Yep, no, fine.
And Lindsay, I'm sorry, I totally forget, did you mention your names for Lindsay?
Yeah, no, I didn't. Joe Pasternak, 7 Pleasant Street, residence and Boucher O'Brien Funeral Home. And also
7, what's it?
Pleasant.
Thanks. And sir?
Same address. First name is Lenny, Lenny, and last name is Weake.
All right. Anybody else want to say anything? Burns, you want to weigh in?
I can't say too much because I haven't talked about it with our board of city space, but I will say that, we've talked to Vic about future collaborations, and what's happening in the Main Street Historic District is really exciting, with the library across the street coming in, with Vic coming in, with city space second floor restoration, that there's a lot of potential for rejuvenation of the downtown. So I'll just give those 2 cents, and I understand the need for income through having a liquor license as part of making it a viable option for them to maintain that building.
Mm-hmm.
I've been impressed with, personally, their presentations in the zoning committee, and I appreciate their efforts.
Thank you. Thanks.
So at this point, I guess we can make a motion, close the public hearing.
Hold on 1 second for ZBA. Lindsay, the ZBA special permit, do you know what she's referring to?
Make a motion to either conditionally approve, or deny the license tonight.
Yes. Yeah, but what is
Okay.
the knowledge of you wrote ZBA special permit? Did we already?
Yeah, sorry, I had been trying to speak and type into the chat, but I don't think it was coming through. So I was just trying to help with the abutters to let you guys know that THCC should be presenting their
We lost you there.
Not everyone has been present at the previous meetings to hear what the business plan is. So it's helpful to go through the full application, business plan, the special permitting by the ZBA, sound mitigation, hours of operation, what space they'll be utilizing with inside the building. That's all just very helpful information for the general public to have when you're voting.
All right. Do you want us to have?
But it sounds like that's kind of been addressed.
Yeah, I think we have. I mean, unless you have any questions.
She was
she was just saying, like,
talking about the prior, or?
No, about
permit
this.
here?
Just like, is there any extra information we can give to you and the public that would,
Well,
give a better understanding?
Yeah, you were at the
We did
meeting,
all,
so you
yeah, of
have
course.
all that
Yeah, no.
information.
So
I didn't know if she was referencing this
No.
application.
No.
Okay. Is this application public information?
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, it will be. I don't know if it's public yet, but it will be for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the application isn't made public record. I suppose if you FOIA'd it, we could make it public record.
Yeah, there's like 100
But, like,
social security
The
numbers.
Oh, that's right.
financials
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff, financials and stuff can't be released. Owner information can't be released, just the names, because their social security numbers and such are on that. But the application can become public. I'm speaking on tonight's application.
But if, you know, and I don't wanna be argumentative here, but,
No.
so, and I heard, was it Tim, you said that about the social security number? If there's 100 there, those are your 100 members, correct?
Yeah, 100 approximately. I think it's over 100 at this
So,
point.
you know, and Tony might know this or whatever, correct me, but, you know, when, you know, ownership is tied, especially liquor licenses, is tied to, you know, being able to pass a state quarry check and all that. That's why, and once again, I'm not here to push these people down.
Right.
I just have concerns over when you have an entity that is a cooperative and people really have true, you know, one stock, one vote ownership, you have all those owners. You have people that are owners that, you know, and obviously, I'm sure this liquor license board is not going to allow, everyone has to be tip certified, obviously, like every other establishment. But, you know, owners will not be able to walk in that bar and be their own bartenders and things like that.
Not at all,
No.
not at all.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm gonna be in
and, yeah.
charge of this and I'm gonna be
And it
so
just,
strict
but as a
because
neighbor
my
and
neck's
seeing a
on the
group
line.
like this, you know, and I've seen it several other times where, you know, especially these, and I know you're not a club, so I'm not saying that to upset you, but you have like the club, even though you're true owners, let's call it the cooperative, similar to like a club. You have that type of, you know, setup there.
Well,
I think it could
I'm
be
not sure if
private.
you
It's
know
more
our
similar
setup.
to a publicly
to-
traded company than to a club.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Just
and
because we're all wearing black doesn't mean we're, you know,
Yeah,
in a
right.
club.
I hear what you're
I'm wearing black too.
I hear what you're
But, you know,
saying.
Yeah, well, maybe you're in my club then.
No.
I hear, you know, like, it is really just like a huge board,
Can I,
you know.
can I interject,
Yes.
please?
Yes, please.
So this is the same model as River Valley Co-op. They are a
Right.
cooperative that is owned, that has a liquor license in Easthampton.
Right.
The thing that makes this most difficult on the city side and on the business side is that
Oh, no.
I think what she was probably going to say is
Anytime there's a
anytime
change.
we have a change in ownership or in our officers, we have to file that information with the city and the state, which we're well aware of.
The same, that's what she's referencing.
Yeah.
They have to do that at the Valley
Yeah.
Co-op.
But ownership is any person that comes or goes from the club. Any
Correct.
person that might, you know, and I'm not saying anyone's a felony, but, you know, in a liquor license, if anyone who holds a liquor license ownership is a felon, you cannot hold that liquor license.
We understand
legally
that
in
as well. That's
Massachusetts.
why we have
Right,
Cory
yeah.
checks included in our,
Yeah, we have all the Cory
This
checks.
is
Go ahead.
all included on the state side. This isn't new to the city or the state. The Cory checks, the cooperative owners, this is all stuff that they have to go through as a check and balance through the city and the state. So anyone who was a felon wouldn't be authorized to be an owner or operator of the business. And not every owner needs to be tip certified.
Yeah, I was gonna mention
Yeah.
that too.
So this really isn't any different than any other liquor license, except for the hardship it puts on the business and on local and state boards to change documentation every single time an ownership change happens, which is, you know, something you have to do.
Yeah, and that's easily mitigated because anybody can go to our website and apply to become a shareholder, but that does not make them a shareholder. So we, the board, have full control over when someone becomes a shareholder or when they cease being a shareholder. We have control over when we have scheduled annual elections and can ratify those elections at a time that makes sense for all that paperwork to be filed. So not that I think it would put any burden on the abutters, but just for reference, since it came up, we're going to be able to control all that well in a way that shouldn't burden the city or the state or
No,
us.
as Lindsay said, it's a burden really just on you because you have so many.
and then we gotta pay it every time too.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you have.
yeah, we're well aware.
You have incentive, it seems to me, to keep that, all that stuff tight.
Yeah, and the reason why, you know, the manager is on the license and owners are on the license is for accountability purposes. You know, that's just my only concern. How do you, if a group that is, to say it nicely, fluid, how do you, you know, have any accountability against them, God forbid, if something happens?
You mean against the entire co-op?
against the entity that's running an establishment, sure, most certainly.
I don't,
Yeah.
Lindsay? Oh, sorry. Well, I'm not sure legally how that goes. I would imagine it goes to the officers first. You know, I
Only
mean,
the
if
person
something
that is
goes,
on
yeah, if
the
like, you know,
clock at the time.
yeah, if there's a problem, if there's an underage person getting,
It's the it's the manager.
yeah,
You can't
What do you
change the
mean?
manager without going through the
Right.
Yeah,
paperwork.
the
to
two
change
people
the
that would be
manager, so-
ultimately responsible
And
would
and
be-
again, it's-
are sitting right here.
it is the same really as any
And
other
I'm not giving
bar.
keys out to everyone.
Right, yeah, it's not that kind of thing.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not gonna.
Again, it's not any different from an Applebee's.
It's no different from any application we would get. If there was a violation of the business, we would bring in the manager of the liquor license that we granted the application to, and we would put them forward for a public hearing.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, our concerns have been addressed, thank you.
Appreciate you coming down and talking this through. I think it's always better when people talk about this stuff, and I would have the same concerns that you do. I really would. I also know that the people who are involved in this are pretty stand-up folks. I'm for a starting a business. I think we're going to be in good hands, and I'm not worried about them being bad neighbors.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I would be concerned as well. I'd have the same concerns you
It's just a
have.
notice of how do things work and,
Yeah.
What can we do and who can we rely on if.
Yeah. So I mean,
if-
Lindsay's
If anything needs to be addressed, that's all.
right, and Lindsay I think has made it clear, and what was my understanding too, that it's really if anything happens, it's just like any other bar on Cottage Street. Like if there's a problem, it gets identified, and we get notified, and we bring them before the board, and that's just how this is going to run as well.
That's it.
Right. All right. You guys good?
We're good.
So, all right, I think I already made an attempt to close the public hearing, but I'll
Well,
just say
I
that.
think we have to move to conditionally.
I know,
Oh.
we have to close the public hearing first.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, we have to vote on this first, I think. Vote on
You have to
condition.
vote on the application first.
So I move that we conditionally approve the application for THCC liquor license for 1 Northampton Street, conditional on the receipt of payment, the check that will go to the newspaper and the receipt of the $200 payment to the ABCC.
Yeah.
Want to second that?
Second.
Okay, I think that motion passes. Now do we end the public hearing?
Yeah,
Second?
THCC, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Any new business?
You guys can hang around if you want. We're just going to talk about whatever we need to talk about now. Lindsay, do we have any new business? Thanks, Burns. Thanks,
Thank you very
guys.
much.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck.
Take care.
Have a good one.
You too. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Yeah, see ya.
No new business on my end, guys. I've been out of the office for 2 weeks.
Oh, my God. So, you got that copy of that thing I sent to
Yeah.
I haven't heard back. I haven't reached out to check in with him. I want to give him a little time to sort
Yeah.
of settle in.
Yeah.
The ink's barely dry on his.
It's difficult because he's got a lot to learn.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that, we all kind of agree that this should be a kind of a no-brainer. Like, you've already approved them. We've gotten that, so I'm gonna reach out to him next week, and just see where we're at, and I'll CC all you guys on that. But other than that, that's all I got.
Okay, all right, I'm good.
Okay, we're done with new business, I think,
All right.
and,
Yeah.
Next meeting, March 4th.
Mhm.
yep, at 4/2025. We haven't heard anything from Rebecca?
I agree.
She must have just spaced on it, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be like she's...
Did she say at the last meeting that she wasn't gonna be here?
No,
or
she
was
wasn't
it
here
a
at the
different
last.
time?
Oh no, the meeting before last. I don't recall, Tony. I don't think
It's
so.
probably in the minutes.
No.
It's probably in the minutes. All right. Well, I think we're done for today. That was a workout.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, motion to adjourn. I second that motion.
Okay.
Okay, we're adjourned.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.